Hey guys, welcome to the channel. In this video, we are going over 12 very important tips for anyone that's thinking of building an Amazon FBA business. I'm not gonna lie, Amazon FBA is a pretty complicated business and there are lots of moving parts to be aware of. These 12 tips will help your business immensely and direct your attention on the things that actually matter. So let's get started. My first really important tip that I wanna talk about is focusing on one product at the beginning. I know a lot of people when they start off, they're like, I wanna build so many different products. I wanna sell this, I wanna sell that. But the thing is, when you're starting out on Amazon FBA, you don't want to get sidetracked and you don't want to spread yourself too thin. Therefore, I recommend if you have not yet built up your Amazon FBA business, only work on one product at the start. This is going to be your trial product and it's the product that you're going to learn everything about the business with. So now let's go over some products that I definitely don't recommend as your first product. Stay away from fragile products because these products might break and they might require some type of warranty. Also, the shipping process is not gentle, and if your product arrives damaged, then you might be liable for reimbursing the customer. Now with this, I will also say that electronic products are a big no, especially when you're starting. Sure, there are a lot of people that have massive success with electronic products, but I don't think it's the best product to start with because there are so many things that can go wrong. You'll likely have to give some type of warranty, and if you're just starting out, sure, you might have sampled the product, but you don't know the long-term reliability of it. Also, make sure to not use any licensed photos or trademarks on your product, as well as avoiding any designs that are patented. Now, I made this mistake when I was starting out. I made a product that literally had a design patent on it, and of course, when I went to go sell it, that company reached out to me and they were like, hey, we have a patent on this product and you can't sell it. So bam, instantly lost all my money there. You also don't want to sell big and heavy products. These will affect your shipping rates both from overseas to Amazon's warehouse, as well as Amazon's FBA fee. And there are so many light and small products out there, so just focus on those for your first product. Another thing I will say is to try and avoid seasonal products. So for an example, this might be like a Halloween accessory that is literally only sold in September and October. And you can quickly find out what's seasonal by looking at Google Trends or just using your own intuition. All right, the second big tip I have for you guys is when you're in your initial phase, I want you to focus 100% on your product research. You have to do this. This is one of the most important things, and any Amazon FBA business owner knows that without a good product, your chances of success are just much lower. So use a tool like JungleScout, that's the one that I recommend, and spend hours and hours and hours doing research on there. You wanna make sure that you have a product that is 1, profitable, 2, easy to source, and 3, scalable. JungleScout also has a ton of cool tools that help you find these profitable niches and products that you otherwise never would have thought about selling. So I recommend if you're just starting out, get this tool because it will be the best investment of money you make, I guarantee it. All right, my third tip is to order from 2 to 3 different suppliers and use their quotes to negotiate with each other. A lot of people make the mistake of just going with the first factory that they talk with. And you know, that might work out well, but you definitely want to see how the quality of the products are for different suppliers. It also gives you a little bit of leverage when it comes to negotiating the price per unit. What I recommend is get 2 to 3 samples of that product sent out to you. These samples will likely be free, but you will have to pay for the shipping cost. Now, if you think these samples are good, then that's when you start the negotiation process. And remember, it's not all about price. There are tons of other terms you have to be aware of. For example, minimum order quantity, long-term reliability of that factory, as well as their customer support. You want to work with a factory or a trading company that you can build a relationship with and work with long-term. And once you get a quote from one factory, you can use that and try and negotiate with another factory and just keep doing that until you get the best price. But just note that price is not the whole picture. However, it does certainly help to have as low of a product cost as possible so that your product margins can be higher. All right, my fourth tip is that the first image that people see, that first product photo, is so important. It's literally the first picture of your product that people see while they browse through Amazon. And if it doesn't stand out, if it's not clear, then people will immediately skip it. If you have the money, I always recommend hiring a photographer to take the product photos for you. This can't be like a portrait photographer. This has to be a photographer that is good with product photos specifically. They're very different. So, you know, you can't just hire your friend that takes portraits to take your photos. Now, if you don't have any money to spend on a photographer, you can try to do it yourself, but it is kind of hard. You'll want to make a light box or something that allows you to have a purely white background and maybe use your phone to take it. I will say though that you have to be good at Photoshop because that's where all the magic happens in product photography. Another option you have is you can actually send your product to specific companies that can receive that photo and then take the pictures for you. This honestly might be cheaper because you can definitely send it to places overseas where the cost of photography is much cheaper than here in the States. But whatever you do, just make sure you really focus on the product photography. Make sure that first image people see is amazing and stands out. All right, number 5 is to differentiate your product from the competition. This leads to the infinite demand concept, which I will talk about later. So yes, Amazon FBA is competitive. There are lots of other people selling products on Amazon, and the products that they sell might overlap with yours. If you're able to somehow get that competition away, then well, that definitely means you will succeed. And the way to do this is to implement the infinite demand concept. What this means is that when you create a product that literally doesn't have any other competition, that's creating infinite demand for your product. And this is something that a lot of Amazon FBA sellers struggle with, because likely they're selling a product that is already being sold. So it's probably very hard to create a product that completely takes advantage of this infinite demand concept. That is, unless you are an inventor and creating a brand new product, but most of us are not. We're selling an existing product. So the key here is to separate your product enough from the competition where this concept partially holds true. For example, you can change the dimensions, you can change the color, you can even bundle that product with something else that people don't bundle it with. What I recommend is look at the reviews and look at the feedback that people are saying. If they're saying, hey, this product is just too small, then we'll go to the factory and ask them to create a larger product. If they don't like the colors, then try creating your product with a different color. If something is commonly bought with that product, then maybe you can bundle them together to save your customers some money. Whatever it is, you just have to get creative here, and just know that if you're able to differentiate your product, it makes it infinitely easier for you to succeed on Amazon. All right, my next tip for you guys is to really know your numbers. I mean your bookkeeping, your accounting, as well as your taxes. When I first started with my Amazon FBA business, my books were non-existent. I literally had no idea how much money I was spending, whether or not my products were profitable, as well as the cash flow of the business. If you don't have these metrics, then it's really difficult to scale your business because you don't know where your money is going to, and you don't know which avenues of your business are creating the most ROI. This also means that you don't know which products to focus on, especially if you're selling multiple products. And guys, I know a lot of people, they think that they might be making a lot of money, but when you look at all the costs associated with Amazon FBA, for example, the product cost, the shipping, the customs, the storage, all that stuff. Oh, and I also forgot about Amazon ads. These costs might be more than you're actually making from the product. So it definitely is possible to sell on Amazon and actually lose money. That's why you want to track all these numbers from day one. Make sure the product is actually profitable. And this will also open up opportunities for you to find out in which ways you can save money. All right, my seventh tip is if you already have a successful product, consider ordering a large number of products and storing it at a warehouse. This could save you a lot of money on overseas shipping costs because a lot of those costs are fixed. Especially if you can make an order that fills a full container load, that's amazing. That's going to save you so much money. One thing you can do is when you're working with an overseas shipping company, it's likely going to be a freight forwarder. They can store your products for you in their warehouse. I know that for me, my freight forwarder charges $26 per month per pallet. That is so much cheaper than storing it at Amazon's warehouse. And it also means that you can buy additional product and just store it there in case your inventory runs low. I know that a lot of Amazon sellers have trouble keeping the product in stock because really you have to order products a lot earlier than you think. For me specifically, I've run out of stock many times. It's ruined my momentum for my product and lost me out on a lot of money. So right now what I'll do is I'll order more units of that product, have my freight forwarder store it in the warehouse for me, and then when I run low on that product, I simply tell them to ship them out to Amazon's warehouse. This is extremely convenient and it might save you a lot of money. All right, my next tip has to do with copywriting, and this specifically has to do with the listing you create for your product. When you create an Amazon product, you have to make a listing that goes with it. These are the bullet points that you see at the top of the product page, the product description that's at the bottom of the page, as well as the product title name. All of these affect how Amazon's algorithm finds the product and puts it in the search results. Now, copywriting is an extremely important skill, and that's why I recommend most people to do their own copywriting. This skill will help you with literally any other business you start. So that's why I say just get it over with, do the research right now, do the learning right now, and you will become a better business person. One key thing that you want to do is you want to find the product search terms and put them into your listing description. Also guys, you have to sell with emotion. You can't just spew facts about the product because no one really cares about that. Buying is hugely emotional, and when you're able to make your customer envision themselves having the product, then that is when your conversion rate really goes through the roof. I'm not really going to get into too many details about actual copywriting here, but I recommend just go on YouTube and learn about copywriting. There are lots of videos out there that will help you create a good listing. And when you have a good listing, your chances of success with Amazon FBA are much higher. And yeah, there are lots of services that you can pay to actually do this for you. But guys, if you're starting out, do this yourself, learn copywriting, because it is a crucial skill to have. All right, my 9th big tip for you guys is to create a private label brand within a specific niche. With FBA, there are many different ways you can sell products. You can do retail arbitrage, you can do wholesaling, or you can do private labeling. Now, I really recommend private labeling because this business model is extremely scalable. Pretty much what private labeling is you're taking existing products, making some changes to them, and selling them with your own brand on it. A lot of people fall into the trap of making a private label brand that is way too general. Like, it's just all over the place. What I recommend doing is find a successful product and then build a brand around that specific niche. What you can do then is really take over that niche. Once people know that you're a seller of some type of product, they are way more likely to buy your product if you have other products within that niche. And it also makes selling this private label brand much easier in the future. Does it limit the types of products you can sell? Definitely. But people don't realize that for any niche, there are so many different products that you can sell. And when you do this, it allows you to really create a long-term brand that you can continue building or that you can sell in the future. My 10th tip is to nail the packaging. A lot of people just don't think about the packaging when they're creating a product. And truthfully, it actually makes a big difference to the customer how the product is packaged. Two things it really affects is the number of reviews you get, as well as the average rating of those reviews. So technically, you're not supposed to really ask for a review in the packaging, but almost all sellers, they'll have some type of card that's like, we really appreciate your feedback. This will definitely increase the number of people that are like, oh, hey, I really like this product. I'm gonna go on to Amazon and leave a review. It also results in higher ratings because more people feel connected to the brand. Especially if you're selling some type of premium product, that's when you really wanna focus on the packaging and make it look presentable. Most people leave reviews within a few days of receiving the product, so the type of packaging that you package the product with is still fresh in their minds. Even though they might not necessarily think it affects their review of the product, I definitely think it can have an impact. So yeah, this is definitely something you can focus on. Don't just use like a normal poly bag. Maybe use something that's a little bit nicer, include a nice card, and really just make the packaging a little bit more personable. All right, my next really important tip is to just don't run out of stock on any of your products. You'll want to use inventory planning to track your sales and always order more units before you think you have to. This kind of ties into my previous point where I told you guys to perhaps use a warehouse to store your products. Make a purchase that's larger if you have a product that's already successful. And that way, restocking your inventory is a lot easier. I always really stress order more products before you think you have to. This has happened to me so many times where I'm like, oh yeah, I can order products in a few weeks. It'll be fine. But the shipping always takes longer than I expect. Having Amazon's warehouse actually process the shipment, it takes a lot of time. So you really just have to be on top of your inventory planning. It hurts your inventory score if you run out of stock. It also ruins your momentum for the product, and it sort of looks unprofessional when people go to your listing and it says not in stock. So yeah, however way you guys want to do this, just make sure you don't run out of stock. All right, my last big tip for you guys is to sign up for something like Feedback Genius. So software like this, it really automates the email process of asking for reviews. You're able to create a campaign that automatically sends X days after your customer receives the product. This is the best way to build equity in your brand because a lot of that equity is in the number of reviews you have for your products, right? Like think about it. Anyone can sell your product, but if you have a lot of reviews, that is when investors are willing to pay big bucks to buy your brand from you. If you are a small business, you'll want to create an email that really makes you relatable. Give that personal connection and really emphasize your customer service. You can say something like, hey, we are a small business and we rely on your reviews to stay in business. If there's anything wrong with the product, please reach out to me directly and give them a way to reach out to you. I guarantee that if you do this, this will double or triple the number of reviews you get from your sales. So whereas maybe every 100 orders you get 1 review, this could mean you get 2 or 3. I've been using Feedback Genius the entire time I've been doing Amazon FBA. And as a result, yeah, some of my products have over 100 reviews. This is a super big pro tip. So I really want to emphasize this point of getting more reviews with a software like this. So yeah, there you go. Those are my 12 big tips for anyone that's starting to sell on Amazon FBA. This is still a great business to start. You know, the competition is getting higher, but even in 2020, even in 2021, or whatever year it is, e-commerce is still going up and there's so much money to be made in this field. I definitely recommend if you are looking for a side hustle, look into starting an e-com business where you can take advantage of the increasing volume in online sales. Plus, doing a business like this allows you to learn so much and it will just help you become a better entrepreneur overall. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys found this video helpful. helpful. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this. I make a ton of content about personal finance, investing, and entrepreneurship. And yeah, basically my whole goal is to help you guys become millionaires in the next 5 to 10 years. It's entirely possible. I just think that most people need a little bit of guidance and inspiration. So yeah, thank you guys so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.